What's up, everybody? David Fierstein, Power Call Sirens. It is Monday, the 21st, about 9 o'clock in the evening. Just got back from the Harrisburg Fire Expo. Wanted to talk about that a little bit. I had a number of people that have asked me how the show was and wanted my thoughts on it. Some vendors called me and asked me what I thought about the show, just because we've known each other a long time. So I figured I would just talk about it a little bit. So we've been doing the Harrisburg show for probably, I want to say, maybe 10 years, somewhere around there. We got in the Harrisburg show when it was packed. Everybody was in the show. All the buildings were packed. You could barely find space. It was expensive. It was the best thing that was out there. It was really great, and it's been that way for a long time. But as everybody knows, the decline of the fire trade shows with the technology and the internet and everything, we found that the trade shows, every trade show with the exception of a few, are just going downhill. You're losing vendors, you're losing people. Not everybody wants to come see the latest and the greatest stuff, but it still gets a good amount of people depending on where you go. So Harrisburg was a shock to me this year. It was, for us, thank God, it was great. We had a fantastic show. I always tell people, yeah, you might get a lot less vendors, but the people still come. They still come in force. There are, some downfalls. The show seems to end early. Harrisburg actually ended an hour early this year. By 3 o'clock, everybody was packed up, ready to go, and they didn't open the doors to let the vendors out until 4. So it was kind of weird that everybody broke down early because of the attendance. And then where we are in the North Hall, I'm in the North Hall. For those of you who know where we are, we have 3 apparatus spaces, and right in back of us there is a wall and another row of vendors. The snack bar is back there where the bathrooms are. That whole entire back wall was empty. There was nobody there, and I have never seen that before in my life at Harrisburg. Usually I have people like Larry Fox there, the fire video guys, just people selling bags. I don't know if they moved them to a different area in the expo center, but the whole wall was empty. I had a apparatus space in front of me that was empty. Usually in the North Hall there's a gazillion fire trucks. There was 1 or 2 in our hall. The rest were in the other hall next to us. But it was a significant less vendor show. We were blown away by the fire store. I've known the owner of the fire store for a long time. I know a lot of people who work there. And for those of you who have been to Harrisburg, you normally know that they have the fire store has this big area that you go in, and there's people standing behind there, and they're selling their helmets, and there's helmets lined up on the top, and there's all kinds of stuff to buy. They didn't have that at all this year. They had this little walk-in area with a bunch of products they were showing. You couldn't buy a helmet there unless you had it shipped to you. They didn't have all their little knickknacks. It blew my mind that they did it that way. I'm sure they had a reason because they're on the top of the game. I mean, I respect them, and I know them. I know the owner. We've known each other for a while. And like I said, it blew me away that they set up like that. But I'm sure they had a good reason. In the front hall, there was a lot of apparatus, but it's significantly changing all the expos. I mean, the only show that we see where the attendance and the vendors don't go downhill is New York and Wildwood. Those shows are just packed. New York is always sold out, and they don't lie when they say sold out. I know the people who run the New York show because they're good friends of ours, and they sell out every single year. Wildwood is always a packed show, and we'll see 25,000 people in a day and a half. It's ridiculous. But shows like Ocean City, we do Ocean City show. And everybody says to me, why do you do Ocean City show? It's such a slow show. You can walk it in 15 minutes. But you know what? We go to Ocean City show because the people still come to Ocean City. You may have less fire vendors there, and you may have less, people selling stuff there, but the people are there for Fireman's Week anyways. So why not? And believe it or not, we do better in Ocean City as a company than we do in New York, just because it's at the beach. There's a ton of people there, and it's mind-boggling to me how over the years how the trade shows have just dwindled off and then dwindled on. The one that used to be at the Big E in Massachusetts is now in a casino in Connecticut, and they never called us to invite us back to that one. And from what I've heard from the vendors that go, it's not worth going. It's dwindled down to nothing. So my I guess my experience with the trade shows, it's sad to see them go downhill, but I am very blessed. I'm very fortunate as a company, Power Call Sirens. We always have the busiest booth. The people that come into us say, you all have the busiest booth here. Thank God I have the busiest booth. And the people still come to see us and to buy our stuff and patronize my business. I mean, it's very humbling to me. So, it's weird to see the trade shows go the direction that they are. It's sad to see that, less vendors are going and less vendors are coming. But, I've always said that you have to have something that people want to come see. I'm very fortunate. I make stuff that not everybody makes, so my stuff is always different. Somehow I always come up with something new and crazy and exciting for people to see. And I guess I'm very fortunate that way, and I thank God for that, because that's something that keeps me going. So it was sad to see Harrisburg going downhill, and I made a prediction with a bunch of other vendors this year that 5 years from now I think it's going to be in that front main hall only, and I think everything else is going to be closed, because if that many vendors are not showing up, there's no reason to house all the buildings. Just use the one big building and make it a one building expo. But who knows what's going to happen. So as far as Power Call Sirens goes, we leave on June 12th to head to the New York Fire Show, Fire 2018. We have, I believe, 800 square feet there. That is the most expensive booth that I get at the New York show, because they're only 8x10s. We love the New York show because of Janet, who runs that show and who books the show for us. She's a dear friend and a beautiful lady, and we love her to death. And that's one of the biggest reasons I go to New York, is to see her and to see their company. And all of our friends go up there, and we get a ton of repeat business from New York. So even though it's an expensive show, it's a very valuable show to us. So we always go to that show as much as possible. So if you are going to the show in New York, we leave on the 12th. Setup is on the 13th. And then the show is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we head right from New York to the Ocean City Fire Expo, the Maryland State Firemen's Convention, which is our setup is that Sunday, which if my memory serves me correctly, which it doesn't because I'm looking at a calendar, that show, the Maryland show, is on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. I believe the 20th, it's only a half a day, but it's a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday show. We will be at that show in the back hall. If you've ever been to the Ocean City show, you walk into the convention center, and right off to the right is the hall where we used to be. If you walk down the hall past the snack bar, there's another huge room on the left, and that's where we are. We like that room now. We used to be in the front room, but I had to take a year off of expos for family matters, and because I did that, I lost my space. But now I've turned that back room into the most popular room, because that's the way we do it. And we're very happy to go to that show, and we enjoy that show. It's a way to get away for a little while, and people look for us with all of our Maryland stickers and our Maryland stuff. So after those two shows, we're pretty much back at our office until September, which is the New Jersey show. So if you are going to any of those shows, no doubt you will see us. If there's anything we can do for you or bring for you to these shows, we are hoping the USB 6100 will be good and ready. So appreciate you all listening. Like I said, don't be too distraught on the trade shows. Everything, it goes down every year, no matter what the industry. That something's always going to change. You just got to have faith that stuff's going to, people are going to come. And it seems like, the vendors are a lot less at every show, but the people still come. And as long as the people still come to these shows, Power Call Sirens will be at those shows, because we love seeing you guys, and we love that you like the stuff, and we're always here for you. Thanks for watching. Any other questions, or if you want me to talk about something in particular in reference to a product or something up and coming, or you're interested in something, feel free to shoot me an email. I am a little behind on emails just because we've been at the Harrisburg Fire Show all last week, but we will get to you as soon as possible. Email us support@powercallsirens.com. About 9:30 at night, I'm going to get to work, and we'll talk to you all later. Have a great evening.